wrong. Now me and my gal, we had a falling out. Bet you don't know what it was all about. Ain't you sorry, sorry that you did me wrong. Now go on girl, you needn't flirt. I know you done tore your underskirt. Ain't you sorry, sorry to your heart. Got a new girl, she's gonna pay my way. Ain't you sorry, sorry that you did me wrong. Sorry to your heart, best old friends, they got apart. Ain't you sorry, sorry that you did me wrong. So that was my version of Ain't You Sorry by Mance Lipscomb. And I'm playing this in standard tuning, my E's, out of the key of G. And I tapped it out, and if you're interested in the tap, please do open the video description. It's part of my Monster Pack tap. I think it's about 43 taps now for a very ridiculous price. I'm not going to say the price out loud, it's too ridiculous. Anyway, I think it's one of Mance's most difficult tunes, although it has a very simple progression. 8 bars, 3 chords over and over again. And it's the bass, of course, that makes it very, very tricky. It's Mance meets the Spanish tinge of Jelly Roll Morton. I've put some links in the video description below concerning that topic. Let's play the first couple bars. Well, that was the first 8 bars, slowly. And we're beginning, it's only 3 chords, I believe, E7, A7, D, and G, 4 chords. So we're starting on the end of the 4th beat, and that's important because if you're gonna do, the rhythm is all wrong then. It's N1, 2, and 3, and 4, and like that. And 1, 2, 3, and 4, and. Now, John Miller transcribed this in one of his excellent books. I think it's in Texas Blues. And he advocates grabbing or fretting your E7 chord like Lightning Hopkins does. I'm not sure if Mance Lipscomb does it that way. We don't have any footage of this song. So with your middle finger in between strings 4 and 5, and then you move up the chord to do the slides. I found that very difficult. I think you should stay away from something that you're not used to, especially if you play for so long and do it a different way for so long. So I'm going put my index on the 1st fret, 5th string, and hammer on. Sorry, like that. And I'm forming the chords when I complete the hammer. So I'm back in business with the E7 there. So the hammer on is done. Just lifting the 2 fingers here and put your index back on the 1st string. Do that because otherwise you have a E minor 7 chord, and this really doesn't work with this. And you keep your pinky on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. And I'm using my middle finger to brush up, and when I grab the E7, the pinch, I use my thumb and index. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. And then we go to the A7, and we're pretty much doing the same thing. And I'm keeping the chords, fingering with my 2nd finger on the 1st string, 3rd fret. You could do that too, like this sometimes, but this is the best way because I'm going to, with my 3rd finger, play the bass 5th string and move from the 3rd fret to the 4th fret. And notice the bass, well, it's the country blues bass. Played open and muted as much as possible, and you see I'm muting that because, well, if you play it with no muting at all, it's gonna sound pretty awful, like this. Too much. Don't forget country blues, like Mance played, was dance music. His function was to play at fish fries, barbecues and whatnot, and to entertain the folks. And a very clear beat with divisions is very good for dancers. Alright, we were in the 3rd bar. And notice, well, the muting, it's done, all done with this part of the temp. Play it very slowly. Sorry. We're sliding into our... Now, there's a difference with what Mance does. The last bar of measure 4, he goes into his D chord already on the 2nd part of the 4th beat. So he does it like this. So you could do that. I do a double bass there. So I'm playing. Now with that D chord, normally you wouldn't think of playing the E bass there. With a D chord we're always used like this. We're taught like this, or simply don't play the 6th string and like that. But here it works because you keep the bass tight and in the beat. Now if you listen carefully to the performance video, you will notice that those 2 bars I fiddle around with the bass as I see fit. So you can play. Keep a steady bass on the A string, or do alternating, well, I'm not sure if it really works that. It's too regular. Except for the last measure, the measure 6. Okay. So you have a choice there. Don't be afraid to experiment. And in the 6th measure, we're going in the last beat to our G chords. All right, let's do it one more time as slow as possible. And then we're starting the verse, which is slightly different than what we've done till now. So I'm going to play that slowly and also try to sing slowly and not too hard. I'm starting with measure 8. Ain't you sorry to your heart, best old friends, they got apart. Ain't you sorry? Sorry that you did me wrong. So here the movement is where we're playing those 2 measures in the key with the E7 chord. And again, I'm using my index to fret the 1st fret of the 4th string, and then I form the full chord again. My 2 fingers are going to the right place, and the index goes to the 1st fret 3rd string. Same thing. Again, this is the same, more or less the same than what we played before for the A7. Sorry. And then for the D. In the tab I wrote the lyrics under the tab for the 1st verse, Ain't You Sorry. And that will help you to find the words on the right spots. And after bar 16 you will see I have 2 alternate bars for bar 15 and 16. And that is the turnaround, so to speak. And the alternate version is, and let's start with bar 13, where we go to the D. And that's when we go to the solo. Alright, and the solo is also another little variation of what we've done before. So, again from those alternate bars. Notice also that the second verse has a different feeling, and also it's sung lower. So in the first verse, ain't you sorry to your heart, best old friends, they got apart, ain't you sorry, sorry that you did me wrong. And here you go, either high or sorry, sorry that you did me wrong. Now me and my girl, we got a falling out, but you don't know what it was all about. Ain't you sorry, sorry that you did me wrong. Like that. And in the third verse we go up high again. Now go on girl, you needn't flirt, I know you don't throw your underskirt. Ain't you sorry, sorry to your heart. And here the last phrase has only 3 words, sorry to your heart, instead of sorry that you did me wrong, which has 5 words. So you have to stretch the sorry in the second sentence. So ain't you sorry, sorry to your heart, like that. You can see that, hear that in the performance video. So the first solo we did, and then we have another verse. Well, if I'm going up north, I'm going to stay. And then we have solo number 2, and here I did my own thing, because Mance stays pretty much like that. He stays on the 4th string, very strange. But I added some movement in the bass, something I like to do. So I'll play that bar 25, the second solo. And then we're going back to the first solo to do that one more time. Now, it is the same progression as before. E7, A, D7, and back to G. And what I do is sort of anticipate the bass. And you can play that straight if you want. I'll try to play that straight. Sorry. Like that, so that let's say the tricky bass moves, maybe learn it first straight and then try to, you can do your own thing of course, using the chords. I have a little buzz here, that's a 6th string buzzing behind the fretting finger, and only if I fret the 7th fret 3rd string. Anyway, it's an old guitar. It has its thing. So I'll try to do that slowly. And here in tap it's straight, but I anticipate that too. And then I'm not gonna play before that in the 2nd beat of the 36th measure. I'm not gonna play that note. And then the A. This is one of my, well, the things I do very often. The first beat is temp, index, temp, temp for the 2nd beat, middle, index for the 3rd beat, temp, index for the 4th beat. So I anticipating in the second beat that A bass there, and in the third beat you don't play bass because you already played it. And you can do that too in measure 28. That's how it is stepped out. One more time, how it is stepped out. And you see I'm muting that. Now we go to the D7. Again, the same principle as in bar 25. It's a bit tango-like. And then for bar 30 I'm doing the same thing as in bar 27, the same right hand pattern. I like the open strings there, makes things easy. And back to G. And well, the tab says slide to the 7th fret, it is like that. Going to the 7th fret, and the next beat, the first beat of the 25th measure, is on the 7th fret. Like that. And then we're playing that first solo one more time. And I think I'm not sure, but you could use, of course, the alternate turnaround bars 15 and 16 there. Second last line of the first page. And then we have even a third solo when we did so in the we're playing the turnaround bar 15. And instead of, when we go to the verse, we play to go into our thing there. We don't do that, we just accent the bass, and then we start in the third solo, which is again E, A7, D7, G. And here we, the first hammer on is on the beat. And the second is stretched over 2 beats. It's a long hammer-on. So measure 34. Sorry, again. And then the D, you can choose whatever we did before. And the G, bar 23 and 24, the same thing. All right, then after after the last verse, which is the repeat of the first verse, I'm doing the solo again, but only one time, so with the first ending. And then we're going into a turnaround on an ending, which is not something Mance did, well, not this way. It's the ending, I think, that Stephen Grossman uses in several songs. It's a typical Reverend Gary Davis ending. And again, I'm doing the same principle as in bar 27. Temp, index, temp, temp, middle, index, temp. Changing chords, a partial to C7 chord, and then you invert those 2 fingers to the first fret, second fret, and then a D7 position to the 6th fret. Only 3 beats there, and then RG. I'm going to show you my right hand here. Alright, that's it for Ain't You Sorry. You're not going to be sorry if you learn this. It's a real fun tune, and you just have to get the arrangement so in your fingers that you don't have to think about it much to play it, and then you'll be able to sing it. But only then. So you really need to study it to get it in your fingers. Start slowly and build up speed. And have fun.